Welcome to Everything Arsenal. This is the latest transfer news. Back live yesterday, no videos. There wasn't too much news, but we are back at it today. A lot of news. We're going to be covering a lot. The latest on Thomas Partey could actually be leaving. Sad times. We'll also be talking about two other potential players who could depart. That is Balogun and also Lokonga. A bit more news on them, and also the latest on the three targets we are looking at right now: Declan Rice, Romeo Lavia, and Kai Havertz. How are you guys? Hopefully you're doing well. I know. Good afternoon. Steven says live from Kampala. Tactical, how are you? As always. Dang, how are you? Samuel says that can't be real. I'm hoping so as well. You watch for DC. We shouldn't have sold Partey, such a good player, says John. Thank you guys for being here as always. Mwewa as well. Let's get started. No wasting time, right? Hopefully your Sunday is going well. And let's get straight to the news. Let's go straight to the news. So let's start with the first one, Thomas Partey. I've had a lot of people talking about it, different opinions and everything. Will come to that. But this is the latest on Thomas Partey. So when Fabrizio confirms, or someone like a David Johnson confirms, that it's serious. So Fabrizio says, understand there's concrete chance for Thomas Partey to leave Arsenal this summer. Clubs are interested in their discussions about his exit. Current contract expiring in June 2025, and no talks to extend as of today. Arsenal priority remains Declan Rice. So that is the first thing that would be surprising to me, because his contract is not ending anytime soon. It's up until 2025. I think right now he's 30 or 31 years of age. This will take him to up to 33 years of age. I have no problem with him leaving Arsenal on a free when he's 33, like in 2025. I have no problem with him leaving on a free. But him leaving alongside Xhaka after such a good season with those three midfielders alongside Odegaard, that would be terrible, like losing all three of them in the same transfer window. And even if they are going to be replaced, let's say Rice replaces Partey, then who replaces Xhaka? Then Havertz, I don't think Havertz can replace Xhaka. Havertz is more an attacking player. So Xhaka does a lot for a team, left back, like covering left back. Sometimes he even plays the center back when needed. Like, he does a lot. So Havertz cannot really replace him. And on top of that, Lokonga could also be leaving Arsenal. So all of a sudden you're losing like 3 or 4 midfielders if you add El Neni to that as well. So you're not needing to buy 2 midfielders. You're going to need to buy 3 or 4 in the same transfer window. So Partey leaving the contract situation, that is why it's surprising. And also, he's not that old. 30, 31, he can still give you a couple of good seasons. And after such a good season, I know he drifted away in the final 2 months of the campaign, but he's still very good. He can still give you one good year. If you have to sell him, you can sell him next year when you can get 20 million for him or something next year when he has 1 year remaining on his contract. But right now, that would be disastrous, because I still feel like he's one of our best players, especially in that midfield with Odegaard and those guys. So losing him, I don't know. Our dream was to have Partey, Caicedo, and Rice. Are you telling me we could end up with only Rice? You can't only eat rice. You also have to have meat and some greens on the side. So you definitely have to have someone like a Partey, someone like that. Unless you have someone that you're going to replace him with, and I don't think there's too many players like that. Whenever we are talking about best midfielders in the league, defensive midfielders, they're always talking about Casemiro, Rodri, and Partey is usually on that list as well. So if we get rid of him right now, and how much are we even going to get for him? I don't think you're going to get that much money for him. Unless someone is going to come right now and say 50 million for Thomas Partey, then we can start considering. But even that is not enough to buy anyone else, because everyone is asking for 100 million for their players. So unless they come out from nowhere and say, you know what, no one said you're not going to get Caicedo, we're actually going to get Caicedo, then you'll be like, you know what, okay, we can understand that. If you're getting both Rice and Caicedo, if you're getting rid of Partey, that is fine. But even on top of that, I'd still have some doubt, because I still wanted him to remain as part of the Arsenal team. I've also had a few other content creators saying it's time to be ruthless. Get rid of players that you're not expecting to get rid of. Get rid of Tierney, get rid of Partey, get rid of Lokonga, get rid of Tavares. I know there's that, but you cannot get rid of your best players. You can get rid of Tavares, fine. You can get rid of Lokonga, fine. You can get rid of Nketiah, fine. You can get rid of Holding, fine. Some of you want Fabio Vieira to go if he goes out on loan, I'd be like, okay, that is fine. But people, no. You have to keep your whole starting 11. As I said, next season for me, I just look for a replacement for Xhaka. and someone else to help Ben White on the right side. I'd still start Ramsdale, I'd still start Zinchenko, I'd still start Gabriel, I'd still start Partey, same with Odegaard, same with Jesus, same with Martial, same with Saka. That was not our problem. Our problem was backup players and players to come in, and these players are tired or injured or suspended. That was our problem. We didn't really have anyone to compete with them. We are supposed to add competition, not replace our best players. You know, you have to keep your best players. And so far this window, to be fair to them, we've been able to keep most of our best players. Saliba is signing a contract. Gabriel signed a contract. Odegaard talks on going as well. Saka signed a contract. Martinelli signed a contract recently. Smith-Rowe's contract was not signed that long ago. Nelson is signing a contract. So I appreciate that. Ramsdale as well signed a contract. So I'm happy those players remaining. But I wouldn't be happy if like a Partey or Odegaard was leaving. If you're keeping Jacques and you had to get rid of one of them, then I'd consider it. But losing both in the same transfer window after such a good season that we had with Jack and Partey and Odegaard, that would be disastrous. We haven't even talked about Jorginho. He could also leave. So we'll have no midfielders. We'll have to look for 2 or 3 midfielders. And I didn't really think we should have put ourselves in a position where we need to look for that many midfielders. We were supposed to add 3 or 4 players in this transfer window, add 2 midfielders, look for a backup for Saka. Some of you want a striker, that is fine. Or look for a backup for Saliba or fullback. 4 or 5 positions, that is it. Because if you get rid of Partey and Xhaka and Tierney and all these guys, then you're not looking for only 3 players. You're looking for 5 or 6. I mean, we don't know their plans. Maybe they do have a list of all those players to bring on or to bring into the team, but it's going to take time. You know, it's not easy to do these deals, because I'm sure in the comments already there are people asking, why is Rice taking that long? So if Rice is taking this long, is our priority now. You know, the others will not be easy as well. You're going to take time to get all these players through the door. And we wanted to get at least 70% of our deals done before preseason, so that those players are in. So Partey, unfortunately, there's talks about him leaving. The other day we were told about the players, the teams that were linked to him. This was from a couple of days ago. Could be keen to offload him if they get a deal for Moises Caicedo over the line, but we are not going to get Caicedo. So there's that. So what is the plan? There has been disappointment at Arsenal that Partey dominated matches for 2/3 of the past season, then regressed to his performance levels of the previous 2 campaigns, says Gary Jacob from a couple of days ago. I agree that when I did the player ratings for the season, I said the player that I was most annoyed with at the end of the campaign was Partey, because I was expecting a lot from him. He had already made me happy this one because he never really got injured, and I really expected a lot from him. And that West Ham game away where he gave the ball to Rice and a couple of other poor performances to the point where he was dropped for Jorginho to come on, I was disappointed. But if you're looking at that, then we are going to sell everyone, because Odegaard himself, one of my favorite players, he still made a couple of mistakes. Ramsdale still gave away a goal against Southampton. Zinchenko made a mistake against Liverpool. That is how we consider the equalizer. Other players made mistakes too. It's not just Partey and Saka. He went out of form as well. Jesus was missing chances in the final few games. The only player who stayed consistent for all those games was maybe Martinelli and maybe a couple of others. Ramsdale maybe just that one game, but others he was okay. But I think Martinelli is the only one that was just consistent against Liverpool away. Home games against Crystal Palace, he kept on performing well. So you can't really say because Partey didn't play well at the end, it's time to get rid of him. Now they might look at it like, you know, he's the only experienced player. Saka is young. Partey is over 30 years of age. We're expecting more from him. That is fine. But selling him at this point, unless you're getting really good money, and everyone is asking for 60, 70 million for their players, unless you're getting 50 or 60 million for Thomas Partey right now, which I doubt, unless you're taking him to something like a Saudi Arabia or something where you're not going to see him and he's not going to compete against us, and if for 60 million, then maybe, but then you're not going to sell Partey and Xhaka unless you get replacements fast. And that is why we've not gotten rid of Xhaka yet, because you're waiting to get the Declan Rice deal done. So I'd not be happy if we lost Xhaka and Partey in the same window, despite people saying it's time to be ruthless. You can be ruthless without getting rid of Partey. Like, we can't get rid of that many players, not at all. And on top of that as well, I mean, Partey signed in, was it 2020, right? He was signed in 2020, so he was still signed by Mikel Arteta. So the others that were not signed by Mikel Arteta, like Pepe, I understand them leaving, but people like Partey, he needs to stay in the team, and like he's one of our best players. Even if he has a poor performance, that is why we want to add players like Rice, so that if Partey doesn't play well, you can take him to the bench and bring on Rice or start Rice for a couple of games. But selling Partey, then you still need to get Rice and a backup for Rice. So for me, I needed 2 midfielders and then you sort out the other positions. But if you sell Xhaka and you sell Partey, 2 of probably your best players last season as well, alongside the likes of Odegaard, Saka. They are very good. For like 7 out of the 9 months, they are very good. Xhaka, Partey, and Odegaard in midfield. So I don't really see the reason of getting rid of them unless we are going to get 60 or 70 million or something like that, which I doubt. So that's the first piece of news on Thomas Partey. I'll come to your comments, but he's not the only one who could leave from the Arsenal midfield, unfortunately. There's also Albert Sambi Lokonga. I mean, some of you will not be too annoyed about this one. So Burnley are interested in Arsenal's Albert Sambi Lokonga on loan, with Vincent Kompany eyeing a reunion with the midfielder they once dubbed the new Yaya Toure. The new Yaya Toure. I don't know who Kompany was watching. I'm telling you, Vincent Kompany, if Lokonga was anywhere near Yaya Toure, big Yaya, we would not be looking for a midfielder right now. I would be asking you to get me Osimhen and other strikers. I would not be asking for a midfielder. If Lokonga was anywhere near Yaya Toure, we would not be crying right now. Like, we'd be like, you know what, if Rice doesn't want to come, that is fine. Lokonga anywhere near Yaya Toure, that has got me like this. What was he watching? Like, really? Yaya Toure. But if he develops to become like a Yaya Toure, good for us, but I don't think he will be developing at Arsenal. Burnley want him. I'd be happy if he goes to another Premier League club. I don't think he will be sold. Maybe loan or keep him, as I said yesterday. I think he either be loaned out or be kept at Arsenal, but you have to wait and see. But Lokonga, he worked with Kompany before, as you can see, I think at Anderlecht, so he wants him at Burnley. That would be good for him. Premier League team, let's see how he plays there, but that's another midfielder who will not be at Arsenal. So Partey, Xhaka, Lokonga, Jorginho, Elneny. How many midfielders are we going to sell? You have to keep some, you know. You can't, like, I'm not a fan of changing the entire midfield like the way Chelsea are trying to do right now. They're selling Kovacic, they've sold Jorginho recently. They're selling Havertz, they're selling Mount, they're selling so many players in midfield. I'm not a fan of changing the entire midfield at once or changing the whole back four at once. If you're changing a back four, you start with the left back and then another one comes and then the other three remain the same. And then the next one, maybe you change your right back like that, like one player at a time, but changing all of them at the same time, I'm not a fan of that. So Lokonga as well, he could be heading to Burnley. And the third player who could be leaving Arsenal very, very soon is Balogun, unfortunately. According to reports from Ryan Taylor Sport, Arsenal are due to hold talks with Eddie Bonsu following Balogun's agent, following the conclusion of the international break. Express Sport understands Crystal Palace have now entered the race for Balogun and have asked for information. Perfect. Like, if it's a Premier League team, I don't know if it's a loan or selling him. Let's see this one. Crystal Palace have joined the race for following Balogun and have already asked for information of the player. So Crystal Palace are not going to give us 50 million for Balogun. That one I already know. So the only way you can get him, that is a loan deal. If Balogun goes out on loan to a Premier League club the way I want it, perfect. I have no problem with it. You're going to see him playing in the Premier League. Let's see how it develops. If he can play in the Premier League, people are saying French League is easy. Let's see how he plays in the Premier League, because you won't really get game time at Arsenal. Selling him, I want 50 million plus add-ons, 60 million plus add-ons, because that is what everyone is asking for their players. I also want 70 million for Balogun. I don't want to sell him right now, especially after such a good season. I know this could be the only time to get a lot of money for him, but you can loan him out. Like, he's only 21 years of age, so we don't really need to sell him. So if anyone is not, people are not giving us 60 million or something, we don't really need to sell him. You know, it's not like a holding or players like that we want to get rid of. We don't have to get rid of Balogun. So if no one is giving us enough money for him, we can keep him. I'm happy to keep him. But if he does indeed want to leave, then Crystal Palace would be a good fit for him on loan. No problem with that. He's going to work. I don't know how much they're going to be rotated there with the likes of Edouard, but I think he's going to get more game time than he would at Arsenal. So I'd be happy with him going out on loan. But selling him, I would not sell him to a Premier League club, and I would not sell him for anything less than 50 million. Not now. Chelsea asking for like 50 million for Gallagher. Gallagher's only played like 3 games for Chelsea in like 3 years. No, you're not going to have players like Balogun leaving for such a like basically no money. No. So Balogun, Lokonga, and Partey are the latest in terms of players who could leave Arsenal. Let me take your comments and then I come to the players who we are linked to, who could be joining Arsenal, the ones we really want to keep. Or to buy, sorry. Partey to where? Arsenal should stop joking with Partey, says Continental. I mean, I don't know where. If he does indeed go, make sure it's not to an English team, but I don't want him to go, man. Like, this is a player that have not even considered him leaving Arsenal, so that would be a downer. Like, there's very few players who can replace him, for sure. Very, very few. No problem, Richard. Howdy, Daisel. How are you? RK. As Samuel says, that can't be real. Let's hope. There's always a chance that this is not really coming from Arsenal or from Edu or from Partey. It could be just journalists who've had things here and there. Maybe it's not really Arteta or Edu have said they're going to sell him, but since this kind of journalists have said it, maybe there's a consideration. So let's hope it doesn't turn out to be true and he ends up staying at Arsenal without any problems at all. Can Arsenal buy Rice? Says Mohammed. Why Partey, says Abdul? Absolutely no idea, Abdul. The only reason I can think of is because he's 30, but I don't think that is an age to sell someone. He still has 2 years remaining on his contract. The only other issue I could think of maybe is the money that is being paid per week. Maybe we are trying to clear the wages and you're trying to get rid of pay Partey. These players who are paid more than 100,000 a week, because we are trying to give that money to players like Saka and Saliba. But then again, yes, we can clear the wages and stuff, but you still have to keep your better players. And there's a lot of ways you can clear the wage structure and everything. Like there's a way you can clear it. Those wages, there's a way you can clear it. You can get rid of so many other players that are being paid a lot of money, but not Thomas Partey. And you can afford to keep him for at least one season. If you decide to sell him next season, after you've already gotten midfielders for this season and you're already planning to get another one for next season, that is fine. But right now, if you get rid of Partey and Xhaka before signing midfielders as well, that would be disastrous. So we have to find a way fast of keeping him at Arsenal. The only other way is, does he want to leave Arsenal? If he's the one who said, you know what, I don't want Arsenal anymore, I want to leave, then maybe you can see what to do. But if it's just us who want to sell him, I'm not a fan of that. I agree with that as well. Joshua, Thomas Partey deserves to win a big trophy with Arsenal at least before leaving. I agree with that as well. He missed the FA Cup by like a month. He came in like 1 month later. This is a player you have to keep, man. It's a player you have to keep. Let's see. I don't like wrong criticism when not the coach. I mean, we have to wait and see who wants him out. Does he want to live by himself or anything like that? But I'm hoping that it gets cancelled, like the Smith Rowe news, because we heard that Smith Rowe is going to leave Arsenal, and then it went quiet, and then we heard that he's not going to go anywhere. Hopefully, we do hear the same about Thomas Partey, because you have one of the best defensive midfielders in the league. You can't really get rid of him unless you have someone who's definitely going to replace him. Their plan could be having Rice and Jorginho in that position, but I don't think that is enough, man. We are back in the Champions League. So what happens if Rice gets suspended? What happens? That is what you're trying to do. You're trying to have backup players who are almost the same. If Partey is not there, Rice is there. If Rice is not there, Partey is there. If both of them are not there, you can bring the experience of Jorginho. And before you get to that fourth or fifth option, everything has to really go wrong before you lose all the first four players, and that rarely happens. So I'd not be happy losing him at all. I'm seriously not happy. Why are we weakening our team again? What is really the problem at Arsenal, says Anu. John says Rice was not that perfect yesterday against Malta. Arsenal, be serious. We should not replace players, but we should keep what we have and add squad depth, says Murray. Can't imagine how disrespected Partey and Xhaka are right now, says Sonic Gangs. They are two of our best players last season, especially in that midfield. So I'd not be happy if we lost both of them. Like, if it was my own transfer window as the one who was speaking, I'd only get rid of like 3 or 4 players, Holding and players like that, El Neni and players like that. I'd literally keep, unless you want money from somewhere. Personally, I would even keep Jacques and Tierney on the bench. Like, I would not get rid of them. I'd keep him on the bench. But for Tierney, it's different because he wants to leave and he wants to go to first team football. But I leave them on the bench, because if you have that kind of starting lineup and then on the bench you have Tierney, you have Partey, you have Smith Rowe, you have those players, then it looks better than what it has looked like the last 10, 15 years. But if you get rid of Partey, then replacing Partey, then who's coming in as a backup for Declan Rice, who's coming in for a backup? You're going to sign Havertz and also a backup for Havertz. So what is going to happen? Like, I don't think many people would be so happy with Caicedo not coming and then Partey going and then Havertz coming to Arsenal. I think many people would be so mad at that combination. If it was like you're getting Rice and someone else and keeping Partey, and then you bring Havertz on top of that, people will be like, you know what, fine, let's see what he does. But if you get rid of one of your best midfielders and then you don't get Kaiser, and then you also get rid of Partey, I don't think many people would be happy that we have all along been singing that Partey needs someone to back him up. Exactly that, because with no doubt he has been our number one. How then can we talk about him leaving? That would be a shocker. If he ends up leaving, that would be a shocker. And I don't even think we're going to get that much money for him. It's not like if you're getting 100 million, fine, get rid of him. I'd be so happy. If you're getting 100 million for him, you can use that to get other 3 players. But you're not going to get that much money for him. Like you're getting like 15 million for Xhaka. You're getting like 30 million for Tierney. That is not good enough already. Arsenal should keep Partey, says Baba Tope. Losing Xhaka and Partey is really bad to admit. Yep, very, very bad. That would be disastrous because both of them had a good season. Yes, they're saying Partey did not play well in the last 1 month, but he's not the only one, man. I don't think you can punish someone after having 80% good and then 20% average. I don't think you can really punish him that much unless he wants to leave. If his injuries had become too much and he had missed another like 20 games last season, then we'd have considered it. But I'm not also a fan. I still want Tomiyasu and Partey to stay despite the injuries for at least one more season, because I know there's some games it can really help you. Like a game like Tottenham at home. Do you know how good Partey was? Like that Tottenham goal against Tottenham at home. The performance that day, fantastic, man. He made the likes of Højbjerg look very average. He has those. That is the Partey we know. Yes, he can make mistakes like he did against West Ham, but everyone makes mistakes. Like as I said, like most of our players made mistakes in the season. Nearly everyone, starting from the goalkeeper to the captain to everyone like made a mistake last season. So you can't really get rid of him. For sure, I didn't think we had players to sell off. I thought you needed reinforcement. I have to agree with that, Samuel. The only players maybe you'd have gotten rid of are the likes of Holding. Some of you even want the likes of Fabio Vieira gone, but I'm one of those that are like, no, I don't think we need to get rid of Fabio Vieira. Keep them all. Our point is to try and build more players into the team and then get rid of the ones who've been here for too long. You know, Holding, Maitland-Niles, get rid of those ones. And then the ones for last season you can keep. I have no problem with Fabio Vieira staying on the bench, and let's see how he does this season. I have no problem with seeing how Tomiyasu does between now and January. He'll recover from the injury. I'm not entertaining people saying Gabriel is not good enough, sell him. I just ignore such comments like we need to watch football more. Even Jorginho, I really want him to stay on the bench. I don't want to get rid of anyone, just 3 or 4 players. I want us to keep. But right now, it's looking like we could end up getting rid of Balogun, Xhaka, Partey, Rob Holding. I'd not be surprised if Nketiah left as well. Tierney, that's like 6 to 10 players. Niles is gone. That's a lot of players, you know. We're still not sure if Smith Rowe is going to stay. Not 100% sure if Fabio Vieira is going to stay. So I don't know what the plan is. You have to wait and see. I'm imagining, yes, they have a plan, but it has to be a very good plan. If you're getting rid of Partey, it has to be a very good plan. We don't want to be... This is the same Arsenal like we had from 10... that's the Arsenal we are used to, getting rid of our best players. Like Van Persie scored like 30 goals in a season for us, gone. Fabregas, gone. Nasri, gone. Alexis Sanchez, 2 fantastic seasons, 3 fantastic seasons, gone. Ozil, gone. Like you can't get rid of your best players throughout. So you have to keep him for at least one season. And if he divided opinion and some people wanted him to go and some people wanted him to stay, fine. But for Partey, I've not really seen anyone saying, fine, like get rid of him. I've not seen one person saying, unless I go through all the comments, I've not seen, is there anyone who would be happy with Partey leaving? I've not seen anyone. For players like Nketiah, it's divided. For players like Pepe, that some people are saying, keep him. For players like Tomiyasu, Fabio Vieira, that people were saying keep them. But for Partey, I've not seen anyone saying get rid of Partey, not one person. Champions League without Partey won't work out for us. Another good point, Samuel, is one of the few players who has played Champions League football for us. So getting rid of him, experience. You need that experience. The likes of Saka and Martinelli have never played Champions League football, so you need players like Gabriel and players like Partey and players like Jesus who've played Champions League football before. Why are we selling Partey again? How are we going to lose Xhaka and Partey at the same time? Let's hope not. Let's not over-risk. Lokonga's level is Burnley. Horrible signing another Edu Masterclass says Sonic Gangs. When is Rice deal going to be complete? Like seriously, I'm hoping it has to be this week because I think they're playing against is it North Macedonia something this week. And then before he goes to holiday, they have to do something with it, because the moment you let the player go on holiday again, you have to wait for the medical and everything. We don't want to wait too long. I'm still confident he's going to sign for Arsenal instead of Man City. Man City is not my problem. But the thing is, I want us to get that one signing through the door, and then I can relax a bit as we wait for other players. But I have a feeling one of those players is going to come in this week. People would not be happy if it's Havertz before Rice. So if it's Rice and then Havertz, I'll be definitely okay with that, and then we can look for other players. But even Havertz, even that one is turning out to be difficult, because Chelsea wants a lot of money for him. I hope you'll not regret selling Balogun out. Don't you see his wonderful performance at under 23 or so? Let Arsenal think twice before venturing into selling. So the thing with Balogun, he wants to be a fast team striker. He's not going to be a fast team striker. I don't want us to sell him unless we're getting 50 million or something. That is fine. But for now, I'd loan him out to a Premier League team, because I still want to see him in a Premier League team and how he does. I'd not get rid of him. I'll come to the rest of the comments. Let's go to the latest on the players that are supposed to join Arsenal. So we've talked about the ones who are probably departing, and let's start with Declan Rice. This is for Fabrizio Romano. According to him, Declan Rice deal entering into crucial days. Arsenal want to be fast to avoid surprises. New bid to be discussed after 80 million was rejected. Personal terms almost agreed. Understand Man City asked again for status of Rice deal on Friday, waiting for Gundogan decision. So we cannot really wait for Man City to decide on Gundogan and Bernardo Silva. We have to buy him before they make up their mind on their deal. So I'm still confident we are going to get him. I just need us to get him very, very quickly. Someone said his performance was not good against Malta. I don't really care about how England play against Malta, and they still won 4-0 anyway. We still need him. It's not because he didn't play well against Malta. He didn't really make any mistakes or anything. He didn't stand out. He didn't really need to stand out. Even the likes of Saka didn't really need to stand out. It was only like a couple of players who stood out. I watched that game the other day. So Declan Rice, you have to get him. Even if he scored 5 own goals against Malta, I'd still bring him to Arsenal. I really want us to get him to Arsenal, man. Even more now that West Ham fans don't want him at Arsenal, people think Arsenal is not good enough for him. I really want us to get that deal through the door, because you know how good he is. So people who are saying he's overrated, I don't think he's overrated. He is overpriced, but not overrated. He's going to bring some more energy into the midfield, someone who can push the ball from midfield to forward positions, someone who's good in terms of tackles, interceptions, as we've seen on this list. He's one of the best players in terms of tackles, interceptions in the league. His Premier League experience has been here for years. He's an international who plays every single day for England, so he's pretty much seen it all: semi-finals at World Cups, semi-finals at Euros and everything. He's seen everything. He's been in a final against Italy as well in the Euros, so he's done it all. He's just won a trophy for West Ham. He's a leader. He's captained West Ham for a couple of seasons, so he would be a great addition for us. So, because I'm imagining right now, if you get rid of Partey and you don't get Caicedo and Rice, then where do you start? I don't know. I don't think there's that many midfielders, especially in the league. If you check this list, Idrissi Gana Gueye, I'm not a fan of him coming to start at Arsenal. Palhinha, as I said yesterday, I'm worried about his discipline. He picks up a lot of bookings. He's good, but he picks up a lot of bookings and in the midfield. I also need someone who knows how to position himself and is not going to make that many mistakes. Kenny Tete, no. Caicedo, yes, but it's too much money. You're not going to get him. So Rice is the only one. There's no one else. You cannot say that you're going to get, let's say, Douglas Luiz from Aston Villa instead of Rice. That is not the same level. And then that is it. You have to go to a different country to get someone. And I don't want us to go to a different country to get someone who's going to come and start for us in midfield. That one, you can get others after you get Rice from different countries, but that one main target, I want someone who's been in the Premier League, like a Declan Rice. And then after that, you can tell me about Milinkovic-Savic. You can tell me about the Real Sociedad midfielder, and we can go on to other players. But for now, I think it's Zubimendi. This is the one that we need right now. This Declan Rice is the one that we need right now. And I've told every one of you that I'm 100% confident or 92% confident he's going to join Arsenal. So it would break my heart if he doesn't join Arsenal, man. Like, that would absolutely shatter my heart. This early in the transfer window, I don't know if I'd be able to even talk about transfers anymore. Maybe it's good for us to just not follow the transfer news until August and see what we've done. But that's the latest on Declan Rice. Personal terms will not be an issue. But he's not the only midfielder who is set to join Arsenal or linked or close to joining Arsenal, however you want to put it. Also, according to Fabrizio, he's given us a lot of news today. Arsenal have concrete and strong interest in Romeo Lavia. Relationship is excellent with excellent to this camp. Talks already took place. Timing will be crucial as Chelsea remain interested. Man United appreciate Lavia, but still not advancing. City buyback clause only valid to until valid 2024. So Romeo Lavia is a Man City player, but he came from Man City. He was signed from Man City by Southampton. So when it gets to 2024, Man City can get him for cheap, for a cheaper fee, because he was previously a Man City player. So if you wait until next year, people are not going to get Lavia. Man City will want him back. But if you get him right now, that is fine. And for 45 million, as someone who's going to join alongside Rice, I'd be happy with that. Not him instead of Rice or him instead of Caicedo, no. You have to get him as a second option after Rice or after Caicedo, because he's still 19 years of age. So I don't think he's ready to come and throw him into that midfield. That is what I said, because I've seen Sonic Gang saying Lokonga is terrible. As I've always said, Lokonga and Tavares, yes, they might not be what we need, but I think we put them in the first team too early, and it was not anyone's problem. It's because Tierney and Partey got injured, and we had to throw them into tough games. I think Tavares up against Salah, and I think it was the Carabao Cup game that we played Lokonga away at Liverpool or something, and we were down to 10 men. I think Xhaka got a red card in that game last season. You cannot do that. 10 men with Lokonga being the only midfielder away at Anfield. Yes, I think we drew that game 0-0 still, but that was still suicidal, and we played them at home that same season. They beat us, and Liverpool trashed us at their place after playing the anthem and stuff at the training ground. They still trashed us. We cannot afford to bring in Lavia as a starter for Arsenal in midfield. No, I want a more experienced player in that midfield, and that is Declan Rice. But Lavia, if you can get him for a decent price, why not? But I'd want to get the likes of Rice first, and then you can go and get someone like a Lavia. Chelsea want him, Man United want him, but I've seen Man United fans are also all over the place, because I think they wanted Kim from Napoli. They're not getting him. They're worried why Mount's deal is taking too long, why Rice is going to Arsenal instead of Man United. So Man United are also not in a good place. But if they get the Qatar people, you have to make sure that you've gotten all your deals through the line, because they're going to start spending money like stupid. They could come and offer Caicedo 200 million, and that is it. There's nothing we can do about it. So that is on Rice and also on Lavia, and also a quick update on Havertz. I think it's time to accept that Havertz is probably going to be an Arsenal player. Unless you don't reach that amount of money, there's still a slight chance that he might not come to us. He might end up at Bayern, especially because of the money. But according to reports, Mikel Arteta and Edu are convinced that Kai Havertz, who will be used as a versatile striker, is the perfect player for the attack after detailed analysis on the player. I really hope those detailed analysis have really, really been broken down, because not many people are a fan of Havertz. Havertz has agreed personal terms in principle and is convinced about the project at Arsenal. I don't think he's a terrible player, as they said. He's had a terrible couple of seasons at Chelsea. Would he be my first option? No, I'd still go for other players. But if they want him and they've done detailed analysis on the player, I'd like to believe they know better in terms of tactics and everything, like the likes of it, better than us. So they're just going to let him do whatever he does in terms of that. But 60 million or something, they rejected 55 million. We gave Chelsea 55 million the other day and they rejected it. So they want a lot of money. I don't think we're going to pass 60. I think if they ask for 75 and don't budge, I don't think we're going to get him. He's probably going to end up at a Bayern or something. So let's wait and see. But if you get a player like this for 60 million plus 200k a week, he has to hit the ground running. He has to start performing immediately, because if he doesn't perform immediately, I know Arsenal fans will be very, very quick to turn on him very quickly. This is what you said. This is not good enough. And then opposition fans, especially the ones for Chelsea, they'll be like, we say we gave you for 60 million, bantering us. No. But if he comes and starts scoring immediately, we can laugh at Chelsea and tell them, it's because Chelsea was a small team. That is why he didn't perform, and he'd be happy. So I'd really love if he comes and performs. But we also have to look at the money. So there's always a chance he might not join Arsenal, especially because of that money. But apparently they've done detailed analysis on the player. They're going to use him as a what? Let's read that again. They're going to use him as a versatile striker, and they think he's the perfect player for the attack. Wow. Interesting. I really want to see how they're going to use him. As I said, I don't think he's a terrible player, but I always thought he's better in a 4-2-3-1. That is not the formation that we play. And also, Xhaka role would be impossible unless you're playing an attacking kind of game in a home match against Luton or Nottingham Forest. That is fine, but Havertz cannot really play the Xhaka role if you're going to away to Man City or away to Tottenham. No, you need like two strong midfielders in there, and Havertz is not really that guy. So let's see how this one works out. It's going to be interesting. If he comes and he performs, I'd be very, very happy. I'd laugh at Chelsea, especially. I'd be very, very happy. But I don't think I wouldn't even pass 50 million for him. So if you're going to pay 60, 70, that is crazy. Let's see. Sese says Arsenal is a mess. To let go of two rocks, Partey and Xhaka, in our best season in over 7 years will be the beginning of a downfall. Arsenal stop giving us some chest ache. The problem of just chest ache. Say if Rice doesn't join Arsenal, have way too many aches. The problem of Arsenal is squad depth. The reason we lost the Premier League. Exactly. I don't think it's because Saka was terrible or because Partey was terrible or because Odegaard was terrible. No, it's because we didn't really have anyone to bring from the bench. We need quality depth. If you want to sell Vieira, Lokonga, Holding, Cedric, and others. Arsenal, you aren't serious. That is according to Sese. Arsenal that drags when it comes to transfer. Seriously, I'm not happy at all, says Anu. Allowing Partey to leave, then management are joking, says Mark. A lot of people are not happy. Everyone, like 100% of Arsenal fans, would not be happy with Partey leaving. Arsenal need to sign Rice before City come in. Abdul Razak says, selling Partey is a war crime, says McKenna. It's rubbish. It's strong words from everyone, strong opinions. It's rubbish to sell both Partey and Xhaka at the same time. It's like we don't know what we want because we are in UCL, so these are the type of players we need to have, says Zinedine. Partey to leave, what a joke, says Pato. I'm still asking myself why selling Partey can still give us 2 good seasons. I believe so as well. And if it's not 2 seasons, they can still at least give us 1 good season, you know? We were 5 points away from the title. Add Rice, add all the other players you want to add, and then keep the best players that you have. And I still think we had like 14, 15 really good players. Everyone in our starting 11, plus a couple of others from the bench. I think Nelson did okay when he came in as an impact player for a couple of games. I think he did okay. Tien is being sold, but I think he would be a good backup for Zinchenko still. Tomiyasu didn't play a lot, but if he's around as well, and then you add a few others, have like 18, 20 really good players, and then others who are going to back up and stuff, that would be great. But if you're getting rid of Partey, Jacques, and Lokonga, and Jorginho, then you're needing like 4 midfielders. That's a lot. And remember, we've not even finished sorting out our fullback situation, and some of you want a striker. I want a backup for Saka, so unless they're planning to overhaul like 7 players or something. Arsenal selling Partey is madness. We are playing Champions League next season, so we need all our good players. Xhaka and our Partey is not fair to us. The fan says Friday. I would have kept Xhaka as well, but I know there's some other fans who are happy Xhaka leaving, but I don't think there's anyone happy with Partey potentially leaving. He still gives us a lot, man. A lot. And if you give him good players and good time to rest and you don't have to depend on him every single game, I think it'd be great. I believe he won't leave this summer. Let's hope you're right, Cheesy, because I wouldn't like losing both our 2 midfielders at the same time. I mean, yes, I don't think they're that... surely Arteta's not sitting down and being like, we need to get rid of Xhaka and Partey. Unless he has like 3 other midfielders in his mind, that maybe a couple that you don't know about, but still that would be crazy. Partey has been one of our best players. Like if you put the last 3 seasons together, he's been a crucial part of our team. Crucial part of our team. William says, I'm seeing Arsenal not finishing in the top 4 next season because of their insane transfer plan. Why would they think about selling Partey? That would be disastrous for sure. Philip says, my question is Arteta trying to destroy what he's building? I'd like not to think so. Keep Partey and buy Caicedo and Rice to help Odegaard. I've already come to terms that you're not going to buy both Rice and Caicedo. It's very expensive. There's that. So people already understood that and we've moved on from that. But then again, adding on top of that you're going to sell Partey and then you're going to get rid of Jacques and then you're not going to get Caicedo and then you're going to keep this one. People will not be happy. And it's very early in the transfer window to have everyone breaking down. I feel like supporting Arsenal sometimes is heartbreak, sometimes Ndaba. Sometimes we've been doing it like since 2004, and it's been a lot. When you have a good season like last season, you have a chip to go and you see, then you start such nonsense. Ndaba is not happy at all. Yep, even Haaland at one point had a bad time, and says Benjamin Partey can be forgiven. Even Casemiro was busy gathering red cards every 5 minutes. Very true. Leave Xhaka and Partey at the same time. That would be nonsense. We are not sure about Declan Rice. We are just so interested in the player. Phillips with some strong words, but he says at the end they do a smoking something. I see no reason why we should sell Partey because he could be a backup midfielder. If Partey can still be a starter, it doesn't even have to be a backup. Like, he's still very crucial in our team. Like, if Partey starts next, I have no problem with that as well. Arteta should not destroy his plan in his own hands. Let's hope they come out with something in the next few days and say that is just rumors and Partey's not going anywhere. If you don't get Rice, there will be protests. Yeah, I can only imagine Sonic, and even protests against me because I've said like I'm 92% confident that he's going to join. Let's hope he does. Sometimes I hate following Arsenal transfer news until deadline day. Maybe it would be more healthy if you do that. I'm still surprised selling Partey. Sonic says 19 goals in 90 games for Havertz. Chelsea don't want him. Here comes Arsenal to pick up another Chelsea reject. Says this disgrace. Sonic is not a fan of Havertz. Partey is one of the best midfielders in the Premier League, says Austin. Losing Partey would demand some explanation from the board. Yeah, like everyone. Every single comment here is people who don't want Partey to leave. Actually, as a student of Pep who I wouldn't have brought that up. I didn't read it before bringing it up, but that is crap. I don't believe that from the media. Let's see. They're not buying but replacing, which is wrong. Selling Partey's madness for Arsenal because we want to buy Rice. That is why we want to sell Partey. The deal will not happen in Jesus' name, says Jacob. Let's hope it doesn't happen. But all these comments, all of them, Nelly, Mike, Stancers, everyone here, Alex, Keep Career, Darts, Layman, everyone is not happy with Partey leaving. Every single comment. Isaac says to let Partey leave the team means one step forward, one step backward. To let Partey leave, I think, is like one step forward and like 10 steps back. There's some players they can't get rid of at all, and Partey is one of them. I personally wouldn't have gotten rid of anyone. Tierney would still be in my team, Fabio would still be in my team, Jacques would still be in my team, and then you add players to that because there's still a couple of times where our bench had 15-year-olds. There's a time our bench had was it Walters, the defender? There's a time our bench had, players who are not really like Matt Smith, the youngster as well. Now, those players are the ones we don't want on the bench. Now, you want players like Partey sometimes on the bench, Tierney there, Tomias. They're players that you can depend on. Like, if Rice is not there, that is fine. Partey is there. If Odegaard is not there, if Havertz perform, fine. Havertz is there. If Jesus doesn't perform, fine. Trossard can play there. This one can play there, fine. If White is not there, Tomias is there. If Gabriel is not there, Kivio hopefully does play well. He's there. So that is the kind of team we want to build. But them leaving, listen, I'd be very surprised if they let both of them go. Very, very surprised. So again, let's hope they have a correct plan. And there's still a chance they could leave, but something tells me that not that stupid to not get Caicedo and Rice and still get rid of Partey and Xhaka. Let's hope their plan is the journalists are exaggerating, hopefully. Fortune says tuned in from Kenya, appreciate it. Partey and Arsenal plan. Exit rumors, and again, does Arsenal play City in the Community Shield? Yeah, we are going to play Man City in the Community Shield. I don't have the date. Is it like August 5th or 6th? I think it's that weekend there. August 4th, 5th, 6th, whichever the Saturday will be. We are going to play against Man City. For another trophy, I guess, if you do count the Community Shield as a trophy. I see no reason why you should sell Partey because he could be a backup midfielder. Every single comment has said Partey to stay. Surely I do and I know that as well. So if you sell Partey like that, would make almost the entire fan base really, really hungry, especially if you don't also get Rice and Caicedo, things would fall apart. And we don't want things to fall apart, as Ndaba said, after such a good season. This was a good season, despite not winning anything and everything, and people trolling and all that. That is fine. In our heads, you're still like, you know what? You still need 3 or 4 players, and then we'll be back next season. So, if you get rid of Partey and Jack and all those guys, then you need a lot of players all of a sudden. So hopefully they end up keeping him. So let's recap the news, and then we will do another video later. On Partey, according to Fabrizio Romano, I understand there's concrete chance for Thomas Partey to leave Arsenal this summer. Clubs are interested in their discussions about his exit. Current contract expiring in June 2025. This is according to Fabrizio. And on Lokonga as well, the Mail Sports say that Vincent Company wants Lokonga on loan. I think many people would be happy with that. I don't think that would make people unhappy like the Partey one. In terms of Balogun, Balogun is being linked to the move to Crystal Palace. Let's see what happens with that one. According to Ryan Taylor Sport, hopefully, if it's selling him, we get decent money, but hopefully it's a loan deal for him to get Premier League experience. Also, in terms of Lavia, we have concrete and strong interest in him, and relationship is excellent to this camp. So the other thing that I've not ever mentioned about Lavia shares, I'm sure one of you or someone knows, he shares, does he share, hopefully I'm right, I'm not wrong. I think he shares the same agent with Saka. Correct me if you already know that. I think Lavia has the same agent as Saka. Hopefully I'm not giving you the wrong information. I think it is Saka. I think Saka is the one who shares the same agent as Lavia. So that is why we have a good relationship with this camp. So if his agent is happy with him joining Arsenal, with Saka staying at Arsenal and everything, then surely he'd be happy with Lavia being at Arsenal. So that is another reason why we could end up getting someone like a Lavia, because his agent is already the agent of a player who plays for Arsenal. Havertz deal is continuing. Arteta, I do believe that he's a very good player for us. They've done detailed analysis. Let us hope so. Whatever they've seen that we've not seen before, hopefully that is the case. And on Declan Rice, Fabrizio says we are entering the crucial days. Arsenal want to be fast to avoid surprises. Man City asked again for him on Friday. So let's not let Man City ask for him again for a third time. Let's wait. Let's hope that one doesn't actually happen. We'll be back later with another video. Thank you guys for watching. Let's hope Partey does not leave. And also, Lokonga, the next Vieira. What? Not Vieira. Yaya Toure. Companies say that Lokonga is the next Yaya Toure. Interesting. Can someone show me the highlights of him being the next Yaya Toure? Thank you guys for watching, and I'll catch up with you on the next one.